The man stood alone, motionless, on the edge of the vast, endless blue. Chains clinked at his feet, a steel tether winding around his ankle like the grip of fate itself. Behind him, a jagged rock, cold, massive, ancient. In front of him, the ocean, deep, unforgiving, unknown. A single breath, and then the drop. This was no ordinary test, no random game for thrill or applause. This was the first step in a gauntlet of fear, a crucible of will. 7 traps designed to break even the toughest soul. But for Byron, this wasn't about money, this wasn't about fame. It was about redemption, about proving, perhaps to the world, but more so to himself, that he could survive anything. As the chain unwound and the ocean swallowed him whole, time slowed. Panic clawed at his throat. The cold pressed in like ice-cold hands. Every second, the chain pulled harder, dragging him further from light. He had only moments to unlock himself, moments before the ocean decided his story ended here. Fingers trembling, lungs screaming, Byron fought to free himself. Metal scraped metal. The lock clicked, and with one final push, he broke the surface, gasping, alive. The first trap conquered. But this was just the beginning. As he stumbled ashore, soaked and breathless, a voice echoed across the clearing. "Welcome to the second trap." Blindfolded, uncertain, Byron turned, only to meet the eyes of something primal. A 1,000-pound grizzly bear, towering, breathing, watching. And beside it, bags of money, $50,000. Each bag a temptation, a risk. The bear was not a metaphor, not a puppet. It was real, alive, and it stood between Byron and his reward. A reminder that survival often demands silence, stillness, and strategy. He moved cautiously, one step, then another. The bear sniffed, unmoved. Byron snatched one bag, then 2, then 3. His heart thundered beneath his ribs like a war drum. Sweat beaded on his brow despite the cold. The bear shifted. Byron froze. It growled, low, almost disinterested, but its eyes locked on a single bag, the last one, the hardest one. He could walk away now, move on with what he had, but that wasn't who he was, not anymore. Inches from the beast, Byron reached and claimed the final bag. The bear, perhaps confused by his calm or respecting his resolve, let him pass. Victory once again. But the challenges only grew darker. The third trap wasn't fire or beast, but air. Byron now stood suspended on a narrow beam, 100 feet above crashing waves. The wind whipped at his body, the beam trembling with every gust. Below him, a target, his money tied in bags of $50,000, each to wait to be thrown down, one by one. If he missed, it was gone forever. Balancing was not just physical, it was mental. The dizzying height, the fear of falling, the knowledge that one slip could cost him thousands, it was all-consuming. And yet, he moved. With every step, his muscles fought to stay steady. He leaned, reached, hurled. One bag, bullseye. 2, 3, 4. But with each success came fatigue. His legs burned, his back screamed. Then a misstep. One bag missed the mark, plunging into the water like a broken promise. Then another. $150,000 gone. Byron wavered, pain written across his face, and then he laughed. Not out of joy, but out of rebellion, out of defiance. He looked to the sky, and for a moment, the pain faded. This was his choice, his trial, and he would see it through. He offered a deal, dropped the rest for a small exchange. MrBeast agreed. The drop was spectacular, and Byron, battered but burning with focus, pressed on. Trap 4 was a minefield, literal, hidden explosives buried beneath a winding course. His money, split across 5 remote-controlled cars, had to cross it. One wrong move, and flames would consume everything. The first car, empty, was sacrificed. A test. It exploded on the left path. He adapted. The second, 25 grand, was lost to a mistake. Regret burned behind his eyes, but he didn't crumble. Byron, an Army Ranger hardened in war zones, had seen worse, had lived worse. He remembered driving through real combat zones, mines buried deep, soldiers silent with fear. That training surfaced now, not in words, but in instinct. He sent another car, then another. One after another, he memorized the path, gambled, calculated. Then came the final car, with $400,000. He walked behind it. Each footstep, each second, his future teetered on the edge. The wrong memory, the wrong twitch, and everything would be gone. But step by step, he made it. Money intact, spirit unbroken. And then came the burial. Trap 5. Byron was laid in a coffin, axe beside him, dirt above him. And above that, a conveyor belt slowly feeding his money into a furnace. He had to break out, had to claw through wood and mulch and panic and darkness, all before fire claimed what he fought so hard to earn. The ground muffled the world. The weight of soil pressed in. He could barely breathe. Dirt filled his nose, his mouth, but he swung over and over. Splinters, cracks, then light. He exploded from the earth like a revenant, covered in sweat and soil and resolve. He pulled the lever. The fire died. His money mostly saved. Then came the climb. A 60-foot vertical tower. All or nothing. His reward was now dead weight, 200 pounds of cash strapped behind him. The challenge was cruel. No room for hesitation, no safety net. He could leave some behind, make it easier. But he refused. "I'm taking it all," he said. Every last dollar. Hands gripping steel, muscles locking. He climbed. The weight tried to pull him back. Gravity wanted him broken. His fingers bled, his vision blurred, but he kept climbing. Each pull was pain, each breath a battle. But the top came, slowly, then suddenly, and there he stood, above the world, alone with his burden and his victory. But there was still one final test. The junkyard. A bomb, real, timed, set to explode in 8 hours. Byron was given tools, machinery, scrap metal. He had to build a fortress, not just of steel, but of strategy, of desperation. Past contestants had failed this test, given 24 hours and still walked away in smoke. Byron had a third of that. He constructed a shield of car hoods, tore away flammable plastic, stacked metal containers like bricks of resolve. He wasn't building a wall. He was building a promise, one he made to his children, that he would come home, not just alive, but victorious. As the clock ticked, tension mounted. Every clang of metal, every weld, every glance at the rising sun, it all built to one moment, the detonation. He stepped back. The bomb fell. A roar of fire, a shockwave of fury, and then silence. The structure still stood. Byron ran to the bunker, to the money. He opened the hatch. The bags untouched. He did it. He survived. Every trap, every beast, every flame and fall and fear, Byron, father, soldier, survivor, didn't just win $500,000. He proved that resolve is louder than fear. That courage, real courage, is earned in the darkest, most desperate moments. And sometimes, the biggest battles are the ones you fight when no one believes you'll make it. But he did, because he never stopped climbing, never stopped swinging, and because no matter how heavy the weight, he carried it all for his kids, for a story, for the fire that never went out.